Like click on here and see. Just go to where's their app? Oh. But this one, you'll be able to see everything live. So like when you change the camera, there are no delays. You can always like go check in on the YouTube stream every so often and make sure it's there. But usually you would know if something breaks on this screen too. And then, yeah, same stuff. So these, when you first come in, all the mics will be muted, so you'll just hit unmute all.
Okay.
Carlos or something. And then, yeah, these are the camera. These chairs are the camera selections. So if you want to
So like if
change
you're presenting up here, I would click.
one of those.
And then
And this one's for the podium for public comments and stuff.
Finish like a comment.
I usually don't. Unless they're going a long time or something. But yeah, usually no. I just do the whole diets preset thing like that. And yeah, we're on share screen right now, which is why so this will be what people are seeing. Yeah.
Let's see, where's the, oh, and so if you don't want to.
You just unclick it. Yeah. And then it would pull just video up. So this thing's in the little. Yeah, sometimes you'll have to manually move the cameras, like for the new pictures or something. You can zoom out. They usually get up here and like. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. These are the HDMIs. It's usually always centered for people presenting out there. That you can change.
So when they go upstairs, they have to.
And blank would put it back to this screen because I want people at home to see. I'll hit share screen again when actually up there. So they're seeing this right now, which is fine because we're started.
I'm still trying to reach it, so I have any recommendations. I know.
They're gonna send you somewhere. Is it for work or for pleasure?
Three beeps. Question.
I'm learning how to do this system here.
Yeah. On a new. Oh, yeah.
What do you Yeah.
Why don't you just say?
Your microphone's on?
Okay, I'm gonna go get. How much time is it? 4 minutes. Oh.
Why isn't that right next to his screen? My what? I did. You want to go ask Teresa to grab them?
I haven't looked at it. I just shared. Yes. Yeah. We sent Jody's. Jody sent me something. I sent to them, and I think they just included it into the appendix. We're leaving the blinds up.
Like it, it's natural light.
Oh, Pete, you want to sit up here?
Show her the ropes.
Well, I can sit on this little.
No, I'm gonna sit in the back.
Are you sure?
I have a lot of minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm gonna stop sharing the screen now.
You'll usually
So
work.
then you'll be able to see. Good grief. This will change. It's crazy how long the delay is.
I know. There we go.
Matt, did you pray for us to not break anything today? You say your prayers for us?
Oh. Should I?
Yeah. You know how it goes.
I don't know. I sort of enjoy the chaos.
It makes it fun. It spices it up even more.
You know, so all the bronies watch My Little Pony. Yeah, Discord in it. I like it. So, you know, it's good enough. It's good. I think it's better than Bluey. Anyway, yeah, I'm a little Discordy. Did you ever see that show?
The what?
My Little Pony with Discord.
No.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I can tell.
I don't know who Discord. What is?
You watch Star
No one?
I haven't seen all these people.
There's so
are
many
very
people.
Sorry?
Have you seen Star Trek? Next
But
Generation?
bunch of them
No,
are
I
different fire.
haven't.
Oh.
It's one of the big bad guys in Star Trek is Discord.
Oh.
It's basically the same character. He's a dragon.
I like having these windows open. It
I know.
brightens it up.
Trees in here, my goodness.
I don't think they've been open.
Well, I was like, look how filthy
Those are
I'm like, they're
disgusting.
coated in dirt.
Yeah, I bet you can't get it off. You need some heavy chemicals. Your fan up.
Oh, that just kept falling.
Oh, I know. It would buzz and then fall. It is hot.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, you can control the lights and stuff from the room controls.
Honestly, as long as these chairs are pretty big, one's in 107, I know that most.
Oh yeah, well this one I hate because it just like leans back without me like wanting it to.
Yeah.
It has its own mind.
Well, look, it's like permanently leaned back.
Oh, there's a little switch that
Wait,
I
that's-
talked
Stops
to
it.
up on the left. I need to talk. Yeah, and just like yeah, it's this one, and you do upper dip on it once. Oh, yeah, yours is broken.
Because this side has like a little knob thing. Oh shoot. I don't know. And it has like yours has a I don't know what that thing does. Somebody must have like thrown themselves back on.
Yeah. I know, I feel bad for all the guys to say I'm like in suit jackets
I
and
know.
everything. Like, at least I get shorts and like short sleeves.
There's one behind them.
I know, they should use that. I feel bad, I kicked it out. I was like, hey, I can sit back there and you can still sing. He's like,
We need to turn that. Will you turn that microphone on? Just that gray button on it. Will you test like that? Usually we test the microphone. I totally forgot.
He's presenting.
We'd like to call this meeting to order.
Do it again. You want to gavel it?
No. I know.
Okay.
I haven't. Thank you. We'd like to welcome you tonight to our city council meeting. And we'll start out with item number 4, an invocation. And number 5, a pledge of allegiance. Representative Nelson Abbott will say the prayer, and his wife,
Kirsten, yeah.
Kristen Abbott, will say the pledge. And before we go, Lene asked you to come. Nelson, I have a hard time calling you Representative Abbott because,
Totally good.
right, we work together.
So grateful that Representative Abbott would take the time to come and his wife Kirsten to give the prayer and the pledge. I just want to do a shout out. We appreciate your representation of Orem, and I'm especially grateful for your representation and your initiatives and advocacy for mental health initiatives in Utah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Heavenly Father, we're thankful that we could gather together this evening and attend this city council meeting. We're thankful for the mayor and the city councilors and the other city employees and for the sacrifices they make to serve us and to work to better Orem and to help its citizens. We ask thee to bless us tonight as we meet, that we may be able to conduct ourselves with respect and with for the process and for each other, and that as we express ourselves, we may be able to show our care and our concern for our city, but also the care and concern that we have for each other and the citizens of this city. We ask thee to bless the city councilors and the mayor as they act and conduct business, that they may be guided and that they may have wisdom to make choices that will benefit Orem and its citizens. And we say these things and ask these blessings in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you. Please stand for the pledge.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to item 6.1. We have a presentation, our city birthday of service event. Karina, if you could tell us about that. And Karina, if you'll introduce the rest of your group.
Well, Jenica is getting that pulled up. We are thrilled to be here today with these two incredible individuals. So Jenica Jones, our Innovation and Strategic Manager, and then Laura Bascom, our Public Works and Volunteer Manager. So we are here to present on our Orem City Birthday Service Day event. As we plan for our upcoming birthday, we received guidance from our exceptional city manager's office to find a way to give back to our Orem community. And we wanted to create something that would involve families and to contribute to the beautification and enhancements to our parks and also give back to our community. So therefore, we wanted to extend an invitation to the mayor, to all council members, and then to our Orem family community to come out and participate in this celebration of our 105th birthday. So it'll be on May 4th at Nielsen's Grove Park. And then I'm going to be passing the mic over to Jenica and Laura, and they're going to be talking to us about some of the special projects that we are going to be including in this birthday service day event and how it's all going to work.
Thank you. So we wanted to do a couple of special things to commemorate Orem's birthday rather than just being one of the standard service projects we do. So one of the bigger things we want to do is replace this very old wooden flagpole, 12-foot flagpole, with a new beautiful dark bronze flagpole, just to stand as a guide for the city and a welcome to our park there. So, and we're also going to be cleaning up the area here, removing some of the tripping hazards, just beautifying the overall area. We would like to invite you as the mayor and city council to raise that new flagpole that day.
I also want to beautify the
Yeah.
oh, sorry. This one?
The button.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
Let's do that one.
You can just push this button.
Thank you. Okay, we'd also like to beautify the barn area where the restrooms are. So when people coming in and out of the restrooms, we want to put up some climbing roses that smell really nice. So we'll just create a nice, pleasant experience for people. So we'll be, the roses aren't quite ready, and we're getting the trellises built, but we'll prep the area.
And we'll have a lot of other projects that day. So it's for all ages. Families are welcome. We'll plant some new trees, reestablish tree rings throughout the park, weed and plant new flowers in the flower beds. We'll have a rock art project for the kids that will scatter the rocks around that flagpole area, polish the statue, clean up the pavilions, all sorts of fun stuff. So come ready to get your hands dirty. We have about 250 people already signed up to help. So we're expecting this to be a wonderful event and a great way to commemorate Orem's birthday. So thank you, and we're excited to celebrate with you.
Thank you. And I'll just give a shout out to anyone out there that's watching this or listening to it. So whenever Karina is over an event, it's amazing. So if you don't show up, you're going to be missing out. So come on out.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, next up, item 6.2, we have a proclamation for Arbor Day. And we just planted some trees earlier in the city council meeting in honor of this. This is a proclamation from Orem. Whereas on April 10th, 1872, the state of Nebraska planted an estimated 1 million trees, which became the inspiration for annual Arbor Day recognition. Whereas Arbor Day is recognized annually throughout the nation, and whereas Arbor Day is celebrated each year on that last Friday in April in the state of Utah, and whereas trees beautify the landscape, enhance property values, moderate the temperature, clean the air, reduce erosion, and provide habitat for wildlife, and whereas the Tree City USA program was started by the Arbor Day Foundation in 1976 and is celebrating its 48th anniversary this year. Whereas Orem has again been recognized for the 32nd consecutive year, along with 3,400 other cities in our nation, as a Tree City USA by the Arbor Day Foundation, and desires to continue its urban forestry practices. Now therefore, I, David Young, Mayor of the City of Orem, proclaim Friday, April 26, 2024, to be Arbor Day in the City of Orem, and encourage citizens to improve the quality of life in Orem by planting and properly caring for trees on that day, dated this 23rd day of April, 2024. Next up, and appropriately, we have item 6.3, a report by the Natural Resources Commission. So Matt Taylor, if you'd like to come up and present that.
Thank you, council members. Mayor, it's a privilege to introduce the Natural Resources Stewardship Committee to you. Every year they do come with an annual report to the council. And also, in conjunction with the annual report, a stewardships awards that they present to various groups or individuals each year. I've certainly been impressed, as I am staff support to the committee. I've been impressed with the diligence of every member. It's rare that any of them ever are absent. Many of them attending by Zoom call across the world, even right now, Mongolia, as one of our committee members are actually serving there as a tenure, a professor, visiting professor. I'm sure I got the title wrong, but I'm going to turn the time over to Quinn Meekum. Quinn is the committee chair for this year. And as soon as I get this up, I'll turn the time to him. Did you want the video or the? Mhm.
Committee members, if you'd like to come up as well, join us.
Quinn, if you'd like to introduce your committee members as we get going here.
Sure. As Matt mentioned, my name is Quinn Meekum. I'm chair of the Orem Natural Resources Stewardship Committee. We are really grateful to have so many talented people with a lot of professional and personal expertise in areas related to natural resources on our committee. We have Paul Dunn over here on the far left. He's the vice chair of our committee. We have Sarah Bateman, who's a founding member of our committee as well. To his right, Darren Hawkins as well, who's on our committee. Hillary Hungerford is the one currently in Mongolia. We're grateful for her as well and her expertise. In addition to that, of course, Matt Taylor is very active in participating with us. Jen Gale is our current city council representative. We're also very grateful for Debbie LeRae, who served with us over the course of 2023. It's a real privilege to work with individuals that are so committed to this mission. So our mission is very simple. It's to promote the sustainable use of natural resources in Orem. And we do that in a variety of ways, and I'm grateful that you're also doing it as a city council. Thank you for your support for Arbor Day at the end of April. That's meaningful to us. I'd like to talk briefly, for those of you who are new to the council, to help you understand a little bit of what we do in conjunction with that mission. So here are all the great faces of our committee. We do natural resources advisory for the city. So if you feel like there's something where you could use some committee input on, that's one of our functions. We spend a lot of our time educating and informing citizens. We build a community of stewardship leaders in Orem, individuals and organizations, and we celebrate the work that they do. We advocate for the conservation of natural resources in the city, and we work to build alignment across natural resources organizations, not only within Orem, but also across other municipalities in Utah County, other organizations like the Utah Lake Authority, for example, as well. Some of the things that we specifically focused on within our mission this past year is we really decided that we wanted to be a leader in providing community events for Orem that were both educational and enjoyable, that got people outside and helped them to understand their landscape and the resources that Orem has available. We also worked a lot on our educational mission, and we also did some advisory as well. Some of our events included an Orem Waterwise tour. We gathered people from across Orem to go visit a variety of homes and yards in the city of people that were really working hard to do waterwise landscaping, recognizing our particular climate, as well as focusing on native vegetation. We learned a lot in that process, and we're grateful for those that participated in that. We've had a gardening event. We've had a bike around Orem event to understand how to get around Orem on a bike a little better. We've had a hiking together event. We have supported a free swap, which just took place again this week, where people share things that they are no longer in need of, and rather than purchasing new items. So we're excited that we have worked actively to make sure we have one good Orem community event every quarter, and we've been able to do that this year. And we've had increasing numbers of people attend those events. We also have an education and outreach mission. We both seek to learn and to share best practices. We've brought in experts to advise us on a number of things. We're learning from other cities in the county that do a lot of great work in this area. We've learned from Provo and Lehigh and others some ideas that we'd like to support in Orem. We've also been at a number of Orem city events with a booth and with information. We've supported the Harvest Festival with a booth. We supported our Earth Day booth. We had an art contest and provided awards for young students who participated in that art contest for Youth Day. We've been active in helping our citizens understand the various consumer rebates they might get from energy and water efficient appliances, and ways that they can take advantage of some of those rebates, whether they be statewide or national rebates. We've also advised on a number of items. We've advised on Heritage Park, on City Hall construction. One of our members is a member of the board of the Utah Lake Authority, and we've provided feedback to them on some of the issues of their concern. We've advised on the transport plan. We've supported the UVU Sustainability Summit. One of our committee members is very active in organizing that, and it's a great bridging opportunity from across the valley. We've advised on the landscaping ordinance in the city, and as well as the city energy plan, the Watt Smart City Energy Plan. And we look forward to opportunities to do those kinds of things in the future as well. In addition to our core mission, and we continue to work to plan community events and educate and advise. Some of our areas of focus that we're particularly interested in this year include building community, really helping people understand the marvelous ways in which Orem has really great natural resources for them to take advantage of, and ways for them to conserve and protect those resources. We are interested in finding additional ways to partner with the city on areas of your concern, as well as city staff's concern. We're interested in expanding participation beyond our committee to have volunteers from across the city participate with us in a number of events and help to support this mission in a variety of ways. And we will continue to expand our media outreach to make sure that we're reaching more and more people so that they understand what we do. Even though we've been active for a number of years, we still find that there are a number of citizens that don't know what we do and how we do it. So we're excited to help them understand that better this year. We've had a great budget discussion this year. I know that budget proposal is in the planning process, but we've tried to be very deliberate about some of the priorities we want to spend money on this year. One of the things we're excited about partnering with the city on, in particular, is bike racks. We've had some good advisory from the Bike Orem group on where we need bike racks, and we're working with our city staff to make sure that we expand the range of opportunities for bike racks. One of our aspirations for Orem Fest this year is that we actually, on the busy Saturday, we have a bike valet. So you can ride your bike. It will be stored by the bike valet for the time you're there. And that we're encouraging people, particularly because that's such a busy traffic event, to ride and store their bikes with our valet and then move on. We're also very interested in supporting the water meter rollout this year. So there's been a lot of great work that's gone into smart water meters and helping our citizens understand their water usage and the ways that they might conserve that water. And our hope this year is that we can be active partners in helping our citizens understand how to use their smart water meters, their apps, and save a lot of money in the process. So those are our hopes for this coming year. We do want to celebrate both a couple of individuals and an organization that we would like to provide an award to based on their leadership around natural resources. So we have 2 awards to give out tonight. The first award will go to Ariane and Neil Newell, who are Orem City residents, who have been really quite remarkable in the way that they have transformed their own landscape and the way that they've been educating the community around how to better incorporate native plants into our yards and to reimagine the way in which we might live in this particular climate in a way that's really beautiful and really satisfying. So we recognize their leadership in that particular area, which is one of our water focus areas for the year. Our second award today is going to go to Bike Orem, which is an organization, an Orem-based organization that has been newly active at helping us understand the ways in which we can be great bike riders in Orem and have the kind of resources that we need to make that a part of our life. So I'd like to invite Ariane and Neil Newell to come forward, please. Darren Hawkins, a member of our committee, is going to present the award. Thank you to the Newells. Also, all those who are here from Bike Orem, if you would come forward to receive your award. Sarah Bateman, a member of our committee, will present that award.
Thank you so much for, it's been a pleasure to start getting the bike out more and have a more intimate experience with Orem. So thank you for having me.
Yeah. Let's come on up and we'll get a picture with you at the council. Okay. I guess Rob.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thanks so much.
So I was checking on.
We are always looking for Orem citizens and Orem organizations that provide great role modeling for us. And we just really are grateful for the ways in which our citizens step up and provide leadership on areas that they care about that help to make Orem a better place. I just wanted to say in conclusion for anyone who is listening that we meet in the resources development planning services room. Is that right, Matt? What's the name of that room? Um, it- Development Services Conference Room on the third Tuesday of every month at 5 p.m. And those are publicly open meetings. And they're warned, and the recordings of those meetings are available online. So we encourage anyone who would like to participate to come participate with us and to learn about some of the things that we're doing. We're looking for people who would like to be more involved in these kinds of areas. And we're just very grateful for a mayor and city council that provides support to this committee and for the efforts that we're trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Next up, we've got item 6.4. This is a celebration of International Firefighters Day, May 4th, 2024. And Chief Sanderson will lead this conversation.
Mayor, Council, Mr. Bybee, and members and citizens in the audience. My name is Mark Sanderson. I'm your fire chief, and it's my opportunity to outline International Firefighter Day. It is a day of remembrance, recognition, support, and celebration where current and past firefighters are recognized, especially those who have fallen in the line of duty. This day began back in 1999 after 5 Australian firefighters were killed during an attempt to battle a wildfire on the outskirts of Melbourne, Victoria area. After their deaths, J.J. Edmondson, a volunteer lieutenant and firefighter in Victoria, Australia, rallied to coordinate this day as a national and international day of recognition and remembrance. The date of May 4th was chosen from the link to the feast day of St. Florian, who is the patron saint of all firefighters. St. Florian was the first known commander of one firefighting squad in the Roman Empire who ultimately lost his life saving in the protection of others. St. Florian is a widely recognized symbol in the fire service. One would often see it on a challenge coin or medal of recognition. International Firefighter Day is observed in many ways. It is represented by a red and blue ribbon, which symbolically links the main elements of firefighters' work with red to fire and blue to water. These colors are also internationally recognized as representing emergency services. So it's my honor at this time to invite you to join us. Orem Fire Department will be recognizing our firefighters on duty for each platoon on May 6th, May 8th, and May 10th, and ask you to join us for lunch on one or all 3 days that are available. We'll be hosting this at Station 2, and I'll make sure that it hits your calendars. And if you have the availability, we'd love to see you there. So with that, I'm going to present you with this letter and then one of our department challenge coins that actually has St. Florian on the other side. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Moving on to 6.5, we have an award. It's 100 companies championing women by the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity. Carrie, Rugg, if you'd like to come up.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We're really excited about this opportunity to speak today. I would like to introduce you to Janie Shaw. She works with the Governor's Office of Economic Development or Economic Opportunity as an outreach manager. She'll be presenting to you the city designation.
If you don't mind, I'm going to read this so that I don't mess it up. Thank you, Mayor and Council. The state of Utah actively engages in changing gender disparities for women, including improving workplace inclusivity. Your leadership in innovation and supportive policies and cultures is an example for other Utah cities, companies, and business people. The city was selected to be in this group based upon the excellent in areas of professional development for women, the Women in Leadership Scholarship, flexible schedules, and remote work options, family-friendly policies, and tuition reimbursement, just to name a few. So on behalf of the Governor and the Governor's Office of Economic Opportunity,
Utah Women and Leadership Project at Utah State University, we'd like to congratulate the City of Orem on being selected as one of Utah's 100 companies championing women. So thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want to get a photo?
Yes, of course.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Perfect, thank you.
All right, all kinds of good news. Now we're up to item 6.6, the swearing in for the fire department. Chief Sanderson.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As excited as International Firefighting Day is, this is actually even more exciting because what I get to do tonight is present to you two of our team members that have gone through a series of interviews with not only the floor members, but our administrative staff. And two of the four have been selected to be promoted to the rank of battalion chief. And so tonight, if I could ask our chief officers to come up and line up next to Mr. Bybee. This is a new process for us as far as the swearing our command staff in from a captain up from here on out. When we promote our individuals, we want them recognized by you all and want you to take part in this. And then the badge pinning is another part of our ceremony. So if I just, Battalion Chief Mike Dunn, Assistant Chief Lon Myers, Division Chief Ben Williams, and Division Chief Derek Spencer. At this time, if I could ask Dave Chase and Bryant Boehner to come forward, please, and if you could stand on the stage and turn and face the audience. I'll turn the time over to Teresa to swear you guys in.
All right, so if you'll raise your right hand and just repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Utah, and the laws and ordinances of the City of Orem. That I will conduct myself in a professional and courteous manner. That I will provide professional, quality, and compassionate service to the residents of Orem with dedication, pride, and integrity. That I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. Thank you.
They're usually much happier and more enthusiastic. That was not the interview that we saw when we promoted them. At this time, I'd like to ask Katie Chase and Becky Boehner to come forward, please, and provide them with the battalion chief badge that they have the opportunity to pin that on their husband's chest. We got paramedics in the room. Congratulations, you guys. With that, Mayor and Council, what I'd like to do is thank you, Becky, Katie. I'd like to get a picture with our exec team and you all with these two newly promoted battalion chiefs. And I have to just tell you while we're lining up for the picture that I'm very excited to have these two, the experience they bring, the professionalism and the true love for the job and the true love for the members of the department that are going to serve. They're going to make a huge difference for our leadership team. No. I always get stuck by Lon and he's like a foot taller than me. It's not right.
Absolutely. Here we go. 1, 2. Perfect.
All right, you've seen me enough tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. All right. Moving on to item number 7, personal appearances. We don't have any personal appearances tonight, so we'll pass that. Item number 8, consent items. On the consent items, we have the approval of the meeting minutes from April 9th, 2024. And we have item 8.2, an appointment to the Heritage Advisory Commission. And this is for Rod Crockett, but Tom, if you'd like to say something.
Yeah, Rod's here. I'd like him to stand up. He's a neighbor, and as you can tell, he's proudly wearing his Kiwanis vest and has accepted an opportunity to serve on our Heritage Advisory Commission. And I move that we approve these consent items, including Mr. Rod, excuse me.
I'll second. Aye.
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 The consent items are approved. Thank you. Thank you, Ron. Okay, moving on to item number 9, schedule items. We have a public hearing and ordinance on the city manager contract. And Carrie Rugg, our management services director, will lead this.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm bringing forward this ordinance for consideration regarding an employment agreement between the city and our city manager, Bren Bybee. Just to give you a little bit of history behind Bren's career here at the city. Pete, you gotta get a photo of him. That's a good meme right there. He became our ACM, our Assistant City Manager, in February of 2014 and served in that capacity until December of 2022, late December 22, when he was put in as the interim city manager. Then in June of 2023, by unanimous vote by the city council and mayor, he was put in as the city's city manager. I know that I can speak for all of the executive leadership team, as well as the city employees, in appreciation for each of you in seeing Bren's outstanding leadership qualities as he leads the city forward in building a better Orem. He truly sees the value in each individual he works with and is always positive and uplifting to others. This employment agreement between the city and the city manager is not just a formality, but an important step for a positive working relationship. I'd like to highlight a few of the key items in this agreement for you all. This employment agreement does not change the appointed designation that is applied by state code to all executive leaders in the city. The city manager shall serve at the pleasure of the city council, and nothing within this agreement should be taken to imply or suggest a term of office or guaranteed tenure. This agreement continues for an indefinite term until termination by notice, vote, or without with or without cause by the city council. The city agrees to pay the city manager an initial annual base salary of $200,000 for his services. The council will conduct an annual evaluation of the city manager's performance and may award performance incentive pay, which would be determined by the city council, as well as a market adjustment similar to what other city employees will receive. The employment agreement includes several benefits for the city manager. The city will provide a city vehicle and an additional contribution into his retirement accounts that's calculated by the average of the public safety tier 1 rate and the firefighters tier 1 rate. They also offer the city manager to receive contributions into another qualified retirement fund as directed by the city manager. The city acknowledges the potential relocation of the city manager or Bren to Orem and recognize the benefits of him living within the city. As a gesture of support, the city agrees to provide an incentive for him to move within city limits. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve, or is this a public hearing? Does it have to go out? Sorry. I have no comments at this point.
Does anyone else have any comments? Okay, there's not a lot of comments that you're going to get from us because we've talked about this at length. And we feel really good about Bren, the job he does, and the need to get him on a contract. So Bren does a great job. But let me open this up to the public and see if anyone has any kind things they'd like to say. At least one.
I'll do it.
I'm Karen Adamson. Hey, Bren, I don't know you personally, but I've come to a lot of city council meetings and I love your personality. You're very friendly, very happy all the time. And from what I know, which is very little, I think you're going to do a great job.
Thank you. If we don't have any other comments, we'll close the public hearing and we'll bring it back to the council.
I'd love to make the motion. Having known Bren for well over 25 years, I'd like to move that we approve the city manager contract as presented by Carrie.
I second.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
The contract's approved. Thank you. Congratulations, Bren.
Yes, can I just verbalize thank you and my gratitude? And it is a solemn thing for me to accept this and to work for the city, and it's very serious and a genuine desire for me to serve you and serve the Orem public and make sure that you can hold me accountable and that together we can make sure and provide these very needed and meaningful services to our Orem residents, our Orem family community. So thank you.
Can I say one thing? I'm sorry, I have to say one thing. I'm actually very grateful that that we have his talents in our city. I think he could go elsewhere from what I've seen from his leadership skills, his ability to herd the cats up here, as it were, of the members of the city council. He's a natural in government. He could take whatever he wanted in the private sector, in my opinion. So thank you for your sacrifice to actually help us build a better Orem. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on to item 9.2. We have an ordinance amending Article 22-11-41 of the Orem City Code to include an optional use of interior climate-controlled storage units as a permitted use, amending Article 22-5-3A and the zoning map of the city of Orem by rezoning the property located generally at 1385 West, 1600 North from the, is that HS? HS zone to the PD 28 zone, and amending the Appendix L by adding the concept plans and building elevations for the Citadel storage development as a permitted use in the PD 41 zone. Jason, would you present that to us?
You bet. Thank you, Mayor, members of the council.
As stated by the mayor, there are a couple things that they're requesting tonight. This is located 1600 North, right next to the on-ramp of, or off-ramp of the I-15. It's behind the Maverick, if you're familiar with that area. The Bowen Insurance and Security Metrics are all along that street. It was years ago, and I wasn't here at the time, but I believe it was an old Stinkers gas station back in the 70s, and so it's been around a while. It's been dilapidated and kind of used for storage for quite some time, and so the applicant is here to propose a different use on the property. In order to make that happen, they came in and requested that the potential to rezone or amend the highway services zone to allow storage units. Staff was very discouraging on that. I feel we have enough storage units and really didn't want to make that open to any other HS zone in the city. So I encourage them to take the PD zone, which is surrounding security metrics, expand it to the west and allow storage units only on that specific location within this specific PD zone. So it would not affect any other location in the city. It would only be the PD 28 that would be affected tonight. So what they're proposing is to amend the PD 28 zone that was done specifically for security metrics. So it was designed to allow security metrics to build a 75-foot tall building. Ultimately, it's an 81-foot tall if you have the screening around the equipment on the top. So this ordinance was specific to that. Appendix L, I'll show you that a little briefly later, basically outlines what was supposed to be built with security metrics. We're proposing tonight that what's proposed for this development also be added into that appendix. So the only thing that we're amending in the PD 28 zone is to allow climate-controlled storage as a permitted use. And then it just outlines the 3 access points on 1600 North. The base code is the HS zone. So they still have to comply with the HS zone with a few exceptions that are outlined in this ordinance here. So they're proposing to rezone that portion to PD 28, like I stated. They do have a couple different concept plans. They're working with Rocky Mountain Power right now to try to vacate an easement. They have a substantial buried power line, and so they're trying to vacate that. Rocky Mountain is working with them, but they may or may not vacate it. So they've provided 2 different concept plans, one with it vacated, which makes a little more room for a larger building, which is concept 1. Concept 2 is a little smaller building. They move the walls outside of the easement, which you can see. Let me turn on my. You can see the gray. I don't know if you can see my hand right there. So that's a retaining wall on this. So they would move it out of the easement and move it closer, which requires them to shrink the building just a little bit. So those are the 2 concept plans. They're proposing indoor storage. So they'll have, you've seen them around the country. They're indoor, climate controlled. They will have some office space on the top floor, about 8,700 square feet of office on the top floor. The rest of the floors will be indoor storage. They'll access it externally. Internally, there won't be any doors, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Out to the public, they'll all be accessed internally. So what you'll see driving by is an office building, but it'll function as storage units with some actual office on the top. These are the elevations. We've encouraged them not to, like you see a typical storage with the orange doors or the green doors that you can see visibly from the street. We've asked them not to do that, so you won't be able to see, other than the Citadel Storage name will be able to be visible, obviously, from I-15 and 1600 North. They will, if you're familiar with the area, there is an entrance between the Maverick and the Levitt Insurance that will be their main primary access back to that building. The Levitt and the Maverick both have access rights over that easement, so it's a shared access that will go out to 1600 North. Traffic would be pretty minimal as far as access. There's small office component, small storage units typically are accessed throughout the day and even into the night, so there's not going to be a whole lot of focus on access and traffic into the area.
Will that entrance number 3 be right turn only?
No, it'll be a full access until such time as UDOT may in the future may restrict that, but right now it's slated to stay as is, which is a full access. That's my Maverick that I frequent a lot. So you don't really want to go west. You
Yeah.
want to always go east, right? Unless, it's 2 a.m, but anyway. So we're proposing that these be put into the appendix. So Appendix L will include these 2 concept plans. So whichever one they decide on based on vacating that easement. And then the elevations will be included as part of that as well. So when an applicant, if they decide to sell, come in and a different owner comes in, they will be tied to these elevations and they will be tied to either one of those concept plans.
And by that, you're saying it will need to look something like this according to the development
Yes,
agreement?
that's correct. So yes, if it looks different and they want to change it, they'll have to come back to the council to make that change.
And how many stories is it?
I believe it's 4 stories.
So it's 72 feet high, so there's really big stories, right?
Right.
I mean, normally that would be like 6, 7 stories, right? 72 feet, 6?
5.
Yeah, and that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Depends how much room you have HVACs, but yeah, 5
Yeah.
or 6, yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're taller than your standard 8-foot.
Yeah. Jason, this has been a piece of ground that has been attempted to be developed for years, right?
Yep.
And this seems like you found a solution. Maybe you're going to tell us how the planning commission felt about it?
So it was a positive recommendation. Yeah, there was, trying to think now, 7-0 for
That's
approval.
pretty positive. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Jason, would you go back to the site plan? So I'm wondering, I noticed we've got some condos right there to the south.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way we can encourage some trees or some type of additional buffer along that south edge? I
Yes.
mean, I don't know how wide is that grassy strip?
Without looking at it, it's probably 10, 15 feet.
Would that be appropriate, or
Yes.
do you think we could encourage, it
Yeah.
would just beautify it more?
Yeah,
for
so
them?
this is just an ordinance, so they will have to come back to planning commission. We would definitely, as part of that landscaping plan, encourage that to be planted, absolutely.
Perfect, thank you.
Do you know how tall that, is it security metrics that's next door to it?
Security is 81 feet tall to the top of the parapet,
And this would be 72?
72. Yeah.
But security metrics doesn't own this property. This is somebody completely independent that's trying to do this?
Correct. Yep.
Were there any reservations from Security Metrics? Have they been in contact?
I know one of our planning commissioners did talk to the owner, but we have not heard anything from him or residents at this point. They did hold a neighborhood meeting, and from my understanding, they were fairly positive. Just to show, you all have probably seen what it looks like. It would definitely beautification to the location. And as mentioned, the planning commission did make a recommendation to the council, modify the text and rezone the property to the PD 28 zone. Be glad to address any questions.
Any idea how many units of cold storage are in this?
Yes. Let me go to the actual site plan. So in the one, this option, there's 975. So the smaller one units. So they're, small ones to probably some medium sized, all accessed internally with 6,750 square feet of office. The option that if they can get the easements vacated, they'll have 8,750 square feet of office with 1,200 indoor storage units. So my guess is the majority of them will be the smaller.
So there's teeny little storage units.
Most likely, most of them will be the small ones.
So, and I don't know anything about this particular business model, but that's a lot of little storage units to fill. What do they put in those? What do people rent those for?
So I would imagine with being acclimatized, you can do, plans, paper, those type of things that may be accessible to heat and exposure to that effect. So you'll get a lot of probably office uses storing their secure information, things like that. Now, it's probably not, like a vault. It's going to be more of something that, isn't high security, but it's something that they would store. And it could be anywhere from the household uses to business materials and different things like that. But there's a lot of them. I don't know if you've seen throughout the country but there's a lot of these types of facilities that are going in that seem to be more of a fit, in my opinion, into the neighborhoods that are not looking like a typical storage unit, but they're more of an office looking development. So
Would you zoom, just for the record, the visual record, zoom in that building closer so it's on the record of the square footage and the real layout, just that, like you did before, on both versions?
So there's the,
No,
There's a tabulation table. Do you want me to go into the actual?
Yeah, and then go over to the picture too, just so we have that in the,
Oops, wow. Sorry about that.
I think it's more the picture that's harder to read. There you go.
Yeah, so the larger one is 8,750 square feet of office. And then the other one would be 6,750.
So the entire top floor is office.
Right.
And do we know if they've, maybe too far, not far enough into the process to know if we've got businesses that want to rent that office space?
I'm not positive if it's their corporate offices or if they're going to lease it out. I'm not positive on that.
We have any other questions? Yeah, let's go ahead and open this to a public hearing. If there's anyone that would like to come up and comment.
I guess I'm part of the public, I guess. We're the developer. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate that. Just a couple of thoughts for you. So, council member Mellon, on the south side, there will be some landscaping there between the residential area. There's also a 7-foot precast wall that's required by the city ordinance that goes in there. And so there is a separation, yeah. And yeah, our intent is to be able to utilize the top floor for our office space, yeah. And so it's a neat project. I'm excited to be back in Orem to do a project here. I started my married life here in Orem, and now I'm back doing a project here for Orem. But you can tell it's a great city. And when we first started looking for a spot for this, we went kind of up and down the corridor trying to find a place where we could have good access. And then when we ran across this property here, the first thing we thought of was this is a gateway to Orem. And right there is 1600 North and the freeway. And when we started looking at the property, the condition of the property, where it's at, we thought, wow, we could really improve that and make it a really nice property as you enter the gateway here. And so we teamed up. My job is to kind of work with stakeholders and the municipalities and try to pull together a plan that works good for everybody. And so we engaged with the city, and hats off to the city staff. We threw out some ideas and they threw out some ideas, and what you see up here now is kind of what we unitedly came up with that seems to work for everybody. And it's a beautiful building, and the architects have gone into quite a bit of detail already. But we'll finish that up and make it a beautiful spot for the city. And so any questions, I'd certainly try to answer them for you.
Yeah, from my perspective, that's where it is one of our gateways coming into the city. We want it to be beautiful. We want it to really look great. And to my previous question, can you just give us a little bit of more of an idea on the business model of how this works? I'm just curious how you ramp up, and I mean, you got to get to break even, and I'm just curious how your whole business model works. It just seems like a whole lot of cold storage units to me, but.
Yeah, so what we do is we engage a group that will do a feasibility study. So they study the logistics of the whole area out here, and they do comparisons on what kind of storage is needed for a certain density of population, especially with a city like Orem that's pretty well built out, and there's a lot of people in this area and especially going to the west. And so the feasibility study identifies the needs for a storage unit, and obviously a combination storage with the office is really ideal. It works well. And then as we get into it a little bit more, we'll do a little more study and figure out what sizes of storage units are needed for this area right here. So we kind of hone it in. Right now, we're out here like this, and then we'll hone that in just a little bit. And so the number of units might go down a little bit, depending on how we progress with our studies.
So
Once we get about.
So 1,200 is not a concrete number. Right now, you're still figuring out what's going to be optimal.
Yeah, we gave the max number, and it could be less than that, yeah.
And what are, we talked about it a little bit, but what exactly does your demographic look like? What are people storing in your facility?
Yeah, a lot of it, like Jason was talking about, a lot of it is records. A lot of agencies, government agencies especially, will rent those storage units to put documents in that have to be kept for a number of years. Some of them 10, 15, 20 years, and those kind of documents will go in there. Household things go in there, especially people that are moving from college into apartments and those kind of things. They'll have small things that they'll put into those storage units. And then as soon as they get homes, then they'll move them out, and just kind of rotates. Yeah. We can get them filled up to probably 80, 90% fairly quick.
So Mayor, if I can just clarify, you referenced cold storage. It's climate controlled, not cold storage.
Oh, good.
So it's just regulated as far as.
So it's not cold, it's just not 110 degrees.
Climate control, so 70 or whatever the. Right.
Hopefully a lot
It's cooler for you guys than me. I'm in the hot seat. See? And we appreciate those that have kind of been involved in the whole thing. The city staff, again, has just been great. I know Jeff's come out for our open house and been involved a little bit there. Members of the planning commission's been engaged, kind of following it. But we appreciate that unity, and having everybody involved in the process really helps a lot.
Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you.
You betcha. You're welcome.
Do we have any?
It's Norm Avery. Avery.
Do we have any other public comments? Okay, we'll close the public comment hearing. And we'll bring it back to the council.
I'm ready to make a motion unless somebody wants to speak. Okay, Mayor, I'll make a motion that the city council by ordinance amending Article 22-11-41 of the Orem City Code to include an optional use of interior climate control storage units as a permitted use, amending Article 22-5-3A and the zoning map of the city of Orem by rezoning the property located generally at 1385 West, 1600 North from the HS zone to the PD 28 zone, and amending Appendix L by adding the concept plan and building elevations for the Citadel storage development as a permitted use in the PD 41 zone.
Second?
Aye.
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 The project's approved. Thank you.
So,
all right. We're up to item 9.3.
Yeah, Mayor, I'd like to move to table the agenda item 9.3.
Second.
Aye.
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 The motion's tabled. We'll move to item number 9.4. Excuse me.
I motion to table item 9.4.
Second?
Aye.
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 That motion's tabled also. Okay, moving on. Do we have any city manager information items, Brent?
Just a couple. One, we were notified recently by UDOT that they're going to be doing a micro-surfacing project along Geneva Road from 1600 North to University Parkway, starting in May and going through July. So that'll create some additional congestion there, that upkeep maintenance. So we'll be getting kind of word out to the public. So be aware of that, as that's kind of a major project. In good news, though, we're moving along well with our Hillcrest Park project and on schedule for our planned opening. Recently, we were the #2 city in the country for pickleball, and we are in the process of surfacing the pickleball courts there at Hillcrest Park. We also just recently got another #2 ranking for #2 best place to retire in Utah, and it's based off of the activities and amenities we provide. So it's kind of a nod to our senior center and to Sierra and to our pickleball courts, actually. And then finally, you as council know, but we'll also be sharing with the public our recent award that we got down at the Utah League of Cities and Towns Conference for being designated one of Utah City, a healthy Utah City community. And this is based off of our efforts to improve health and wellness amongst our residents. Specifically, we were recognized based off of our extra open space, our parks like Hillcrest Park, our recreation and library cutting edge programming, and then finally the community events we do and how those promote social health and community gatherings. So kind of kudos to the city, and we'll be sure to announce that to the public as well. That's all I have.
Thank you, Brent. Great awards. Orem keeps moving on in a positive direction. Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
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 We're adjourned. Thank you for coming.